In Sunday school, the story is simple. A boat, animals two by two, rain for 40 days, a rainbow of peace. But the deeper you dig into the ancient texts, the more the story of Noah's Ark starts to sound less like a children's fable and more like an operation, a rescue mission, a survival protocol, and maybe something far beyond primitive shipbuilding. Because Noah wasn't just building a boat, he was following a blueprint. And the Ark wasn't just built to float. It was built to withstand something the world had never seen, maybe even something that wasn't just physical. Let's begin with the construction. Genesis 6:14. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. Sounds simple enough, but ancient records, including Dead Sea Scroll fragments and Sumerian flood myths, hint at something more. Precise engineering instructions. 3 distinct decks, possibly for energy stabilization. A sealed, watertight outer layer resistant to cosmic-level forces. And dimensions that, when translated, perfectly match modern ship stability ratios. The Ark wasn't cobbled together. It was engineered. It wasn't a last-minute raft. It was a mobile biosphere. Now, think about the flood itself. The Bible says, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. This wasn't just rain. It was a global upheaval. Water erupting from below, torrents pouring from above. A cataclysm so violent it erased civilizations, reshaped continents, and altered the planet's atmosphere. Modern geologists studying flood legends worldwide have found evidence of rapid sediment deposits, fossil beds where land animals and sea creatures are mixed together. Sudden massive extinction events across multiple species. The flood was not local. It was planetary trauma. And the Ark wasn't just surviving waves. It was surviving dimensional chaos. Here's where the theory deepens. Ancient Jewish mysticism, including Kabbalistic writings, describes Noah's Ark as a vessel that floated above the destruction. Not simply on water, but on divine energy. It hints that the Ark was protected by a field of light. The rains and chaos could not breach its barrier. It was moved, not just by currents, but by guided forces. Some even speculate the Ark functioned like a resonance chamber, vibrating at a frequency that shielded its contents from physical collapse. In other words, it wasn't just surviving the storm, it was surviving a possible dimensional reset, a cosmic disaster that blurred the boundaries between heaven and earth. And what about the contents? DNA of every kind? Actual living pairs? Or something even more advanced, genetic records, seed banks, code libraries preserved against extinction? The text isn't specific. But other flood myths, from the Epic of Gilgamesh to Mesoamerican legends, describe boxes of knowledge, chambers of essence, and seed ships safeguarding the future. What if Noah's Ark wasn't carrying just animals? What if it was carrying the blueprint to reboot creation? Not just biological survival, but civilizational memory. When the waters receded, the Ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. But the story doesn't end there. Ancient traditions suggest that the Ark left behind artifacts, sacred objects seeded into early civilizations, technologies that would be hidden, guarded, and misused in later ages. And some explorers claim remnants still exist, hidden under ice, buried in caves, protected by governments. Because if humanity ever faces another reset, the knowledge of survival, the real knowledge, must not fall into the wrong hands again. The story of Noah's Ark isn't just about survival, it's about preservation, of life, of knowledge, of connection between worlds, and maybe of the keys to rebuild should the storm come again. Because what Noah carried wasn't just species, he carried the future. Next time, on Beyond Official Records. Before Adam, before Eden, there was something else. A kingdom. A war. A world forgotten. The hidden kings before Adam. Was humanity rebooted after a forgotten war? Coming soon